Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all, y'all rocking with me. And for this video, we're going to be speaking on a teen down in Texas that shot his school bully in the classroom after getting beat up. And the details behind this case might make you feel different about who's the actual victim. October 6, 2021, the day started just like any for most. But for one Texas teen, he woke up with fear in his heart. It was 9:15 in the morning when the first call came in, alerting the Arlington police to a shooting on the second floor of Timberview High. It's a scene that played out far too many times in recent years, becoming less of a shock and more of a promise that somewhere in the US, a child will wake up and fall victim to gunfire in a classroom. The only difference this time is the motive. 1,900 students were inside of Timberview High when gunshots started echoing. A teacher would report hearing what he thought was crashes across the hall as his students recognized the sound as gunfire, quickly turning off the classroom lights and hiding behind the desks. All they could do was wait for someone to walk through the classroom door with a gun and hope that same person was wearing a badge. 2 officers were already on campus as SWAT was en route to the school when they heard over the radio a pregnant teacher was in distress. Immediately rushing to the classroom with weapons drawn, one of the officers could hear the shots being fired as he made his way to the second floor. What he'd find was a bloody mess, but what he couldn't find was the shooter. A 25-year-old English teacher was shot in the back, suffering broken ribs and a collapsing lung, as a teenage girl had also been grazed by a bullet. A 15-year-old boy laid with multiple gunshot wounds and was visibly in the worst condition, while a pregnant school employee had fallen during the chaos. The school was on lockdown, law enforcement armed with rifles, helmets, and body armor securing the rest of the school as well as a perimeter around the school as the injured were rendered aid and transported to nearby hospitals. The pregnant staff member received medical treatment at the scene and declined further treatment. It was 11 a.m., roughly 2 hours after the shooting, when the school lockdown was lifted, details were provided, and a manhunt was underway. Arlington police were after 18-year-old Timothy Simpkins, a student at Timberview High who's believed to have been involved in a fight with another student that morning. The video of the fight made its way across social media, showing one team beating the shit out of the other, and there's no other way to describe it. Timothy is said to be the one losing the fight and visibly doing nothing to defend himself other than hold his hands up as he's beaten and slammed across the classroom, while a voice in the background can be heard yelling for help. It said shortly after the video ended, Tim went and got a gun. It isn't clear where the weapon was being kept, but it was close enough that he was able to retrieve it before opening fire on the teen who'd assaulted him. In the process, a teacher and another student were shot. Police sent out photos of Tim stating they believe he fled the area in his silver Dodge Charger and was believed to be armed and dangerous. The assistant police chief held a press conference stating multiple agencies, including local, state, and federal, were now on the hunt for the shooter. It was 1:57 in the afternoon when Tim was taken into custody. He wasn't found, but surprisingly driven by his lawyer to the police station where he turned himself in. He was arrested on 3 counts of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, but neither him or his lawyer actually possessed the weapon. Police would later find a .45 caliber handgun in the street, which is undergoing ballistic tests to confirm whether or not this was the weapon used in the school shooting. Before turning himself in, and most likely at the request of his lawyer, Tim was able to take down all of his social media pages, but not before people started screenshotting his page, which shows one picture from June of this year, showing Tim inside of a silver Charger with what appears to be a handgun partially concealed in the driver's door. Both the 15-year-old student and 25-year-old teacher underwent emergency surgery, reports stating the bullet had just missed the teacher's artery and he'd likely be released in a few days. It was the 15-year-old named Zach who remained in critical condition and is said to be the same one who was beating up Tim in the classroom. Tim's family would speak out to the news on how they felt about what took place.
He was robbed. It was reported. It happened not just once, it happened twice. He was scared. He was afraid. There's a video that's all out on social media, and it shows that he was being attacked. It wasn't just one person that would attack him and bully him, taking his money, harassing him due to the fact because he had more things than maybe others. It takes us all. It takes us all to stand together about this bullying. It could have been a situation where he took the other turn and decided to commit suicide. What the decision that he made, taking the gun, we're not justifying that. That was not right. But he was trying to protect himself.
While Tim's family painted a picture of a teen being bullied, students within the school would paint a different picture. According to other students, Tim allegedly sold weed, had previously pulled up to another student's house fighting him on camera, and isn't known to be a victim like his family's reporting. What's rumored to have taken place is Zach's older brother Isaiah allegedly robbed Tim. Some going as far as saying he was even pistol whipped in the process, which led to the younger brother wanting to fight him in the classroom. The younger brother just didn't expect Tim to have brought a weapon and use it. While Tim's family state he's been robbed twice, one robbery allegedly being recorded and other students giving a similar story, the only hope for Tim's defense is to actually prove he was robbed. He'll need to prove he had a legitimate reason to fear for his life and illegally arm himself before defending himself. And to do so, he'll have to fully cooperate with law enforcement against any and all who allegedly robbed him, which could lead to Zach's older brother being charged if the claims can be proven true. At this time, Zach remains in critical condition, and a video was posted to Isaiah's Instagram showing Zach in a hospital bed before Isaiah changed his page to private.
I love you, boy. You was a grown man. You gonna be straight, man. You gonna be good, man. I love you, man.
Now this case is being presented, well, really in three different ways. At first, it was a school shooter, right? Most school shooters just crazy, weirdos, obsessed with Columbine, shit like that. We quickly find out it wasn't anything like that. This kid was getting beat up in the classroom, pulled a gun, opened fire on the kid that was whooping his ass. Even though he's 18 and the kid that he fought is 15, the 15-year-old obviously got the better of him in the fight, and he went and got a gun. The backstory on this, though, is what really separates the two narratives being given. The families say he's a victim of bullying. He has no priors. This kid gets in no trouble. They obviously live in a nice big house. I'm sure this kid's got money. His family went as far as saying, people are probably targeting him because he has more than others, right? So they painted the picture of a victim, of a kid that's getting bullied. What if instead of shooting that other student, he had turned the gun on himself, etc. Tim allegedly sold weed, so he isn't the angel that was being portrayed, and students say he isn't a pussy either. He pulled up on somebody, he fought him, it was recorded, this and that, regular high school shit, you know what I mean? You got fights, someone selling weed, someone takes his shit, they fight, but it led to a shooting. Apparently when Tim was robbed and his family know about 2 different times he was robbed, money was taken, they're not gonna say if weed was taken, he was allegedly pistol whipped. Zach's older brother allegedly was the one that did it. For whatever reason, Zach wanted to fight him in class. Maybe they had the same class together. They knew it was going to be pressure when they saw each other. So Tim decides to bring a gun to school. Legally, this is very difficult. If you are in fear for your life and have a legitimate reason to fear for your life and you arm yourself in a southern state where you can legally defend your ground like Texas, like Florida, you can beat the case. You may be charged with illegally possessing the firearm. He isn't a felon, so that's not that big of a deal. You may be charged with the other people you shot during the process of shooting the motherfucker, but it's also gonna come down to, were you in fear for your life when the shooting actually happened? If you already got your ass beat and he stopped fucking you up and then you went and got a gun, that's revenge. That's not being in fear for your life. If you're currently getting your ass whooped and take the gun out as fists are hitting you in the fucking face and you fire, you're defending yourself. So it's a fine line as to which direction this is gonna go. But if his defense was he was so scared because he had been assaulted with a pistol, he had been pistol whipped, and he knew that the guy that did it, his younger brother, wanted to fight him, and he didn't know if the brother was gonna bring a gun, so he brought one, he's gonna have to prove everything. He's gonna have to cooperate, meaning he's gonna have to snitch. He's gonna have to tell. He's gonna have to point a finger and say, this person robbed me on this day. This is what they took. If you're selling weed, you're gonna have to admit it. It's not even gonna matter because selling weed, the punishment isn't equal to the life sentence that can follow after you just shot up a school. And you're 18. You're not gonna get spared for being a juvenile because you're not. It's an unfortunate fucking situation. It all boils down to being tough. You know what I mean? If you know you got it in you, you don't got to make other people feel soft. You don't have to do that. You don't have to boost your own ego by being the bully. If you don't got it in you, I mean, I don't know. If you don't got it in you, don't fucking sell weed. I know that. But a scared person will always shoot you faster than anyone else. You put a dog in the corner, doesn't matter the size of the dog, that dog will bite. A scared person will kill you the fastest. So you can feel confident in your hands, you can feel confident in the intimidation, and you can feel like they're not gonna do anything to you because you know that they don't have the balls to move first. What you don't know is they're in preparation for when you move. They know they're not gonna move first either. They're not built like that. But what they're doing is preparing for when you make that move. And when you make that move, you could end up like Zach in a hospital bed, suffering multiple gunshot wounds in critical condition, underwent surgery and is still in critical. And we don't know what's gonna happen to him. But hopefully everybody's able to pull through. I'm sure more details are gonna be coming out as this case progresses. It's 1090 Jake. I'm rocking with y'all, and y'all rocking with me. Till next time.